In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how to make a great spicy chorizo potato stew, something that requires simple ingredients and minimum effort to cook it. And if it's first time we meet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I have a new simple recipe coming on this channel every single Friday and you don't wanna miss it. For this recipe, I'm using one spicy chorizo ring, and it doesn't need to be chorizo necessarily. You can go with any other smoked sausage that you prefer, but in my opinion, it has to be smoked because it gives to this dish a really nice flavor. Simply chop it up in slightly bigger chunks and get a pan on medium-high heat. Since the chorizo is kind of dry, we're gonna add a touch of oil. And after that we are to cook this for about 5 minutes, making sure that you stir in from time to time, and we are moving now to the rest of the ingredients. For the amount of chorizo potato stew we are making, which is about 4 to 5 portions, I'm gonna be using 2 white onions. Just chop them roughly and set them aside for later, and I'm gonna get 5 cloves of garlic, which I know it kind of looks a lot, but don't even worry, once it's cooked you're not gonna feel much, and if you feel like this is a bit over the top, just reduce the amount, but as a general rule, the onion and the garlic will get you a great stew. To be honest with you, when it comes to stews, you can clean up the larder and use whichever potatoes you have left over. I know it's probably not the best way of doing it, but in my opinion, like this you reduce the wastage, and on top of that, if you have different textures and one of it will cook faster than the other, it's not that big of a problem because we still need that sauce to be slightly thicker. And the starch of the potato, once it's broken down, we will do just that. While prepping the potatoes, make sure you stir into the pot from time to time. And once the chorizo start catching some color, you can add the onion and the garlic. Now follow with about 2 tablespoons of dehydrated vegetables and let it cook for another 5 minutes. Preparing the potatoes is super easy, and you probably need to cut them into 2 cm chunks, but you don't need to be that precise. Once you got them all prepared, give them a good wash until the water comes nice and clean. And now you can go with the seasoning straight into the pot. Start with the salt, you need about half tablespoon. Get a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grounded black pepper, that should do the job. Follow with 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, or if you want chili powder, depending on what you've got. And now we're adding 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, which by the way is a great addition, especially if you don't have smoked meat. You can add some extra smoked paprika and that will kind of balance it. About 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, which will give to the stew a slightly stronger tomato aroma. Go ahead with the tomato sauce, about 200 milliliters, something a lot lighter than the paste but still needed since this is a tomato based stew. At this point you can add the chopped potatoes into the stew. You can consider adding chicken stock, veg stock and so on, but I just want to keep it very basic with water. Trust me, you're still gonna get a great flavor since we've got some dehydrated vegetables in there. It's still a lot of flavor going on, so don't worry about it. A few leaves of fresh thyme go straight in, and if you don't have fresh you can definitely go with dry, same applies to the bay leaves. Get the lid on and simmer the potatoes until half softened. From when they start simmering it should take you about 20 minutes, obviously depending on how big they are and which potato varieties you are using. Now make sure you don't turn them in too much, that's actually really important, so make sure you check on them from time to time. Meanwhile, chop some fresh parsley, it will work very well as a contrast on top of the stew, or even consider spring onion or chives. Serve this stew with pickled vegetables or gherkins, and if you enjoyed this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up and check the triple cooked chips recipe that's on the screen right now. You're not gonna regret it.